right, blessings, everyone. All right, I'm just going to get right into this. Again, we're talking now about the plague. Okay, so when you watch the Olympics 2008, you could see the Tower of Babel, and as they're doing all that up, you see the virus. Okay, and this would be on the Tower of Babel. That's the way I received it. Okay, and that would be the ending of the 2008 Olympics. What I'm doing here is I'm making the connection with Germany, China, and this is all about the spirit of Amalek, who is the grandson of Esau. This is very ancient. This is from the beginning. We need to understand who, why, where, and how. Those are the 5 W's that you should be keeping as a boundary for yourself. You know, right now we're finding, I'm finding out that this goes right back to Esau, and it goes back to the Ethiopia. It really does go back to the garden, all of it. But it's how we get there. Are we going to go there by God's communication, by speaking through one individual at a time, putting food on the table so when we walk by, we can, pick up from what somebody else, a brother and sister, has done in their work? Again, I've got a few brothers and sisters here that I am taking food from off at their table. So let's just get started. How God works is you know nothing. You start off knowing nothing. So I'm going into my library and I'm putting out this message, and yet I'm looking at one direction, right? I'm looking over in one direction. I go through my library and I find this video. And this video has more information than the video that I was looking for, and it's actually added to. So I know now that I can separate myself when I speak of this video and where I'm being led. Because this is not where I was going to go. This is not where I was going. I never looked at the Black Plague. I never looked at the 1300s. I was only looking at 1918, making the connection with China, with the pestilence. So I'm going to play this out. This is a Jonathan Kleck video. Now, Jonathan Kleck will tell you that he didn't do this video, that someone who sits at his table, one of his counselors, had done this video. Now, I'm going to be talking in spirit. I'm not talking about flesh here. And I've said that from the beginning when I talk about Jonathan Kleck. It's not about the flesh and blood. We walk in spirit, or we should be walking in spirit, seeing beyond the flesh. I don't know why, but I know that there's a connection. Everything leads back. When I'm going through this in my research, there's always something that is connected to Jonathan Kleck and the message that he has been putting out in his teachings. So let's just get started. I don't have much time. This is the video I found that led me to look into the Black Plague. Again, I was looking for something else. I was looking into 1918. And then as I'm looking, I even went further by finding this video. I went back to the Black Plague. Okay. All right. Again, this is about Adam. This is about seeking out Esau. the cursed seed. And again, this is not about flesh and blood. I'm not going after a person's color of skin, but the mannerism and the nation. You know, remember, two nations and two manner of people. And this goes back to Esau and Jacob. Two nations, two manner of people is where we're going with this. It's as a whole. Not one individual or one group of people, but the spirit of Amalek. And I still hold the scroll up with Esther. This has a lot to do with Esther, Mordecai, and Haman. Okay, so this is what I found. This is what led me back to the Black Plague and the connecting the dots. Just going to play this out a bit. This is Swift Family Robinson. Okay, so we have the seas, we have the boats, the ships, okay, and we also have Adam.
We have one shot. Let's wait till we can't possibly miss. What's happening? They're leaving. They're going away. Do you think they saw us loading the cannon and got scared off? Pirates scared off by one cannon and 3 people? Do you know what they're up to, Father? What's that? Dad? Oh, it's quarantine flag. Warning that there's Black Death aboard. How did you know that? Well, I've been reading to you.
I read.
Oh, do you know what they're up to, Father? What's that? Dad? Oh, it's quarantine flag. Warning that there's Black Death aboard. How did you know that? Well, I've been reading to you. Let me I'll get to the most important part of that video right here. There you go. Let's just turn it down. There you go. That's what's up. Black Plague, the Black Flag, the sign of the Black Death right on the kid, aka New Race of Beings. And thank you, Dave, for helping stitch together that video. That's awesome. Good job.
He calls them the ant farm. Unreal. Okay. A new race of beings, he says. That's not true. That is not true. Know the history, know and understand the scriptures. Oh, what am I looking for here? The prophecy in the scriptures. Okay, so you see this now. I just want to read this to you. I know you can't see it very well, but here, this is what he was pointing out, and this is what has been brought to his table. Okay, so Black Flag of Plague. The entire camp has the aura of death about it, and only the forces of the house of Yegar seem unaffected by the calamity. Jäger is German, means hunted, huntsman. Here we go. Jäger, it's pronounced Jäger. German, hunter. Okay. So I look down here and I see a military, a German military term for the emergency fighter program. Again, movement. Finnish volunteers train in Germany as Jägers during World War I. The march. Again, it's just the military name for it. Then I came down here. Okay. A short-lived German military football club active during World War II. What was I reading, about Frankfurt? The March 2008, about the scroll that was opened up. It was FC football is where I found that. And it was in Frankfurt. And here it is right here, right? So then we go to the clothing. Now, the only thing I'd like to say about the clothing is it's a United Kingdom clothing retailer named, okay, now Jäger, a union suit, a woolly combination. Okay, so when we read in scripture, we are not to put two fabrics together, because when you put two fabrics together, it's like putting two skins together. And I know that there's something about this in the scriptures. I'll put that, if I find it when I find it, I'll put it in the description box. Okay? So, yes, a woolly combination. Okay. I did find that very interesting. The sports in the military. FC football. Frankfurt. Here, Jäger, hunter, huntsman, okay? Any of several large dark birds, okay? Northern seas that are related to a skua, a strong flyer, are strong flyers. And they tend to harass weaker birds until they drop. What I got from this immediately was, when they seek your soul, the first thing they go after is your belief system. And if they go after your belief system and they break it down and they twist it, you drop. You become weaker and weaker and weaker. How can you have faith if you have no belief system? The belief system is the beginning of your faith. Hope is at the end of that faith. The hope in Jesus. So this is when they break you down, and it's that repetition that Jonathan, that witchcraft that he uses. He's a warlock. He's many things. He's got many faces. And then they take what was already placed on your heart, and they take it. And there you have for the bird here. Okay, this is how they use it. This is the virus. Okay, I wasn't sure whether I was going to put this in or not, so I'm going to do it anyway. This here is a little clip of Jonathan Kleck again, hunted for dinner. Now, the reason why I'm back here is because when we're talking about the hunter, the huntsman, and about the plague, we can also see here how Jonathan Kleck was being used as merchandise by the DuPonts because they are the ones that own nylon. So here, what you're going to hear is them kind of spoon feeding him, okay, raising him up in what he is already being told and believes, okay. Now, he talks about energy here. He talks about the vibration that goes through his body. Now, I, too, when the night that I was saved, had the energy being pulled from me. And I remember jerking myself off the bed, and I had to do it forcefully because there was it was just the energy. You could see the strings of every fiber of your, like from my toes to the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. It was just like there was a pull. And I remember I was so uncomfortable with it. I just jerked right off the bed and I went and I ran into the bathroom and I just sat there looking into my room, wondering what had just happened to me. So yes, there was energy the night that I was saved. But it was them. And it was them taking something from me. They were taking it. And I stopped it by forcing myself off the bed. I was 12 years old when this happened to me. I don't know anywhere in Scripture where it talks about anyone vibrating, that their body was vibrating. It's always through vision, dreams, that sort of thing. So, okay, I'm just going to play this out a little bit here, and I just want to show you how, one, you can recognize that he is being used, by the DuPonts. He has become merchandise for them. Okay. And you also know that red you'll always see a blotch of red somewhere in someone's video letting them know who they are, okay? Who they worship.
Nylon. And I went, that doesn't make any sense. Just like the world didn't make any sense. And then I heard the voice tell me, turn it upside down, Jonathan. And I turned that tag 100% nylon. I turned it upside down. And when I turned it upside down, it said 100% no lying. So I was like, well,
sorry.
The only way to read the percentage, I was like 100% no lying, like nylon, reading nylon backwards, Nolyn, no lying. The only way to read it backwards is to turn it upside down. So I said 100%, and I turned it upside down, no lying. And then when I said that, my whole body started buzzing. I was like, what is this? Oh my gosh, what's going on? Freaking out, this energy was all over me. A lot of people said I was a liar.
See, and again, this to me is MK Ultra. This is what he's talking about, his testimony, all of it, MK Ultra. I do believe that he believes what he is talking about, and he has seen what he has seen. I believe that. But it's not our truth.
Y'all ready? Lord told me, go look at this guy's shoes.
The Lord told him to look at this guy's shoes.
Remember, his clothing line's called 400. Hunted for dinner is what it means. And so I went and I looked at it. And look what it says. The name of these tennis shoes is called Bait. That's the name of the tennis shoes. Bait, YG, Reebok, Classic. Nylon, that's weird. The Bait, Reebok Classic. Nylon, hunted for dinner. No, my God. Hunted for dinner, no lying. Look at the one next to it. Hunted for dinner, no lying.
Okay, and you also got your V here. Okay, So nylons put it in there, and just want to show you real quickly. Here's your V, which is really steeped deep, deep, deep into the occult, into the military, and it goes right back to Egypt. Okay. Now, Soap Ministries has done a video just on this alone with Jonathan Kleck and his V for Victory. And he goes a little deeper into telling you a little bit more about the occult concerning the V. I'll leave Soap Ministries information in the description box. Okay? All right, let's keep moving. Okay, back to the plague. Okay, so this is from Britannica. All right, and I just wanted to go here. Where did the Black Death originate? Now, the plague that caused the Black Death originated in China in the early to mid 1300s and spread along the trade routes westward to the Mediterranean and northern Africa. It reached southern England in 1348 and northern Britain in Scandinavia by 1350. See, I wasn't going back here at all. Yeah, I was ignorant to this, that's for sure. Okay, so here, having originated in China and in Inner Asia, the Black Death disseminated the army of Jan Beg while he was besieging the trading port of Kaffa. Now, with his forces disintegrating, Jan Beg catapulted plague-infested corpses into the town in an effort to infect his enemies. So this has pretty much been done before. The same mannerism was there. There's nothing had changed, you see. Nothing's changed. Okay, so here, China. Okay, what I'm doing here, I just went to Spanish flu. I was looking into the 1918, finding what I can, and I could, and this is what I found also concerning China and the pestilence. In 1993, Claude Hanoun, the leading expert of the Spanish flu at the Pasteur Institute, asserted the precursor virus was likely to have come from China and then mutated in the United States near Boston. Then it spread to France, Brest, Europe's battlefields, the rest of Europe and the world. Hannon considered several alternative hypotheses of origin, such as Spain, Kansas, and Brest, and being possible, but not likely. In 2014, a historian, Mark Humphreys, argued that the mobilization of 96,000 Chinese laborers to work behind the British and the French lines might have been the source of the pandemic. Humphreys, of the Memorial University of Newfoundland in St. John's, based his conclusion on newly unearthed records. He found archival evidence that a respiratory illness that struck northern China, where the laborers came from, in November 1917 was identified a year later by Chinese health officials as identical to the Spanish flu. However, no tissue samples have survived for modern comparisons. Nevertheless, there were some reports of respiratory illness on parts of the path that the laborers took to get to Europe, which also passed through North America. One of the few regions of the world seemingly less affected by the Spanish flu pandemic was China, where several studies have documented a comparatively mild flu season in 1918. Although this is disputed due to lack of data during the warlord period, this has led to speculation that the Spanish flu pandemic originated in China, as the lower rates of the flu mortality may be explained by the Chinese population previously acquired immunity to the flu virus. Okay, and then I think this is really important to understand a little bit more of what we're looking at concerning the symptoms, what the virus, what they've done. Now, I do believe, my personal opinion here is that this is man-made and it did come from out of the lab. Okay, so what are we dealing with at this point? Okay, so you can see here it's so similar. Okay, the symptoms and the signs. The majority of the infected experienced only the typical flu symptoms of sore throat, headaches, and fever, especially during the first wave. However, during the second wave, the disease was much more serious, turning into pneumonia, causing death. Okay, so again, I think this is really important to look into. Okay, so we're just going to keep going here.
1918 was the first worldwide mass vaccination program. Dr. Eleanor McBean, author of The Poison Needle, was a young girl during the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. As she points out, the soldiers were getting sick and dying because they were given anywhere from 14 to 25 vaccine shots during the First World War. The First World War was of a shorter duration than anticipated, so the vaccine makers were unable to use up all their vaccines. As they were and still are in business for profit, they decided to sell it to the rest of the population. So they drummed up the largest vaccination campaign in history. There were no epidemics to justify it, so they used other tricks. Their propaganda claimed the soldiers were coming home from foreign countries with all kinds of diseases, and that everyone must have all of the shots on the market. The people believed them because, first of all, they wanted to believe their doctors, and second, the returning soldiers certainly had been sick and dying. The people didn't know it was from doctor-made vaccine diseases, as the army doctors don't tell them things like that. Many of the returned soldiers were disabled for life by these drug-induced diseases. Many were insane from post-vaccinal encephalitis, but the doctors called that shell shock, even though many of the soldiers had never left American soil. The conglomerate of disease brought on by the many poison vaccines baffled the doctors, as they had never had a vaccination spree before, which used so many different vaccines. The new disease they had created had the symptoms of all of the diseases they had injected into people. There was of all of the disease before, which, as they had never had a vaccination spree before, which used so many different vaccines. The new disease they had created had the symptoms of all of the diseases they had injected into people. There was high fever, extreme weakness, abdominal rash, intestinal disturbance, lung congestion, chill and fever, swollen sore throat clogged with the false membrane, and the choking suffocation because of difficulty breathing, followed by gasping and death, after which the body turned black from stagnant blood that had been deprived of oxygen in the suffocation stages. In the early days, they called it the Black Death. They wanted to direct the blame away from themselves, so they called it Spanish influenza. It was certainly not of Spanish origin, and the Spanish people resented the implications that the worldwide scourge of that day should be blamed on them. But the name stuck, and American medical doctors and the vaccine makers were not suspected of the crime of this widespread devastation, the 1918 flu epidemic. Eleanor wrote, "That pandemic dragged on for 2 years, kept alive with the addition of more poison drugs administered by doctors who tried to suppress the symptoms. As far as she could find out, the flu hit only the vaccinated. Those who had refused the shots escaped the flu. Her family had refused all the vaccinations, so they remained well at the time. They seemed to be the only family which didn't get the flu, so her parents went from house to house doing what they could to look after the sick, as it was impossible to get a doctor then. If it were possible for germs, bacteria, virus, or bacilli to cause disease, they had plenty of opportunity to attack her parents when they were spending many hours a day in the sick rooms. But they didn't get the flu, and they didn't bring any germs home to attack the children or cause anything. None of her family had the flu, not even a sniffle. She wrote, "When I see people cringe when someone near them sneezes or coughs, I wonder how long it will take them to find out that they can't catch it, whatever it is. I wonder how long it will take them to find out that they can't catch it, whatever it is. I wonder how long it will take them to find out that they can't catch it, whatever it is."
From January to now, I always do my best and with people's help, try to speak out the truth. But Chinese Communist Party and the colleague, including WHO, including scientific world, including even many mainstream media, they try their best to suppress me. And they even don't give a space for people to have open discussion. I don't want to push anyone to trust me, believe in me. That's nonsense. People can verify, but you have to see both sides.
Yes.
And the thing is, until now, what I feel that I'm happy because I see more and more people realize this is a problem. For past half year or over, many people just believe the authorities, they trust them. So they ignore this possibility, this fact that the virus come from the earth. That is not the natural disaster. It is come from the earth. It should not happen from the beginning. Involve all the cover up, all the cheat. Now people start to realize it. That's a good thing. And also I'm working on the second report, scientific report, to show the world that you want science. Chinese government said science. WHO said science. So you want science, we show you scientific evidence, right? I have intelligent things, but I try to not use it in the scientific report. And another thing is that make me shocked is during all these months, I see so many people I respect before, I worked for a long time before. They just lie to the public, ignore the safety of the global health. Although China government chairman they see this broadcast, they know someone inside delivered the truth out. So that's why they hold the admit transmission, human-to-human transmission, admit triple time of cases from 62 to 198, and also admit that cases in all over China, not only in Wuhan, just after hours of that broadcast. But still, this government tried their best, and with their colleagues, they let people go over the world, right? And WHO still lie to people that mask doesn't work. No way to be scared. Doctor to CDC staff, and even we are in Hong Kong, we are not allowed to know anything unless government tell you the information. Also, they even don't protect the medical staff and innocent people in Wuhan. They let those patients, highly suspicious patients, even until mid-January, stay in hospital in the common ward and already highly suspicious, exclude the other pathogens. But the final test from the CDC, not from hospital. Hospital is not allowed to do this. CDC, they postpone the result. So this kind of things all happened. So our government have many, many ways to hold the truth. Every time they said there is no medical staff infected, there is no more cases or only one more case increased after several days, and claim that everyone has to be into the that seafood market. So that means no human-to-human transmission. Only market is a problem. My supervisor, Liu Peng, he's issued me to do this in secret. So I know he knows, I know Malik knows. But if you ask me whether the dean of the school public health, like Gabriel Liang, knows, I'm not sure, because he's not the one directly work with me. But in this secret investigation, Liu Peng warned me and also again repeat to me before and after. He said, you should be careful. Because China government don't want to release this thing. So he said, don't cross the red line. And if not, you will be in trouble. You will get disappeared. And also, when I report him, he just, like you keep silent. And during the 3rd January to 16th January, he even temporarily asked me to stop investigation because he directly, after that, contact with my friend, because we've been working together before. So he directly contacted my friend in CDC. So he said, now I can contact to him and you go back to your work because it's dangerous. I have to, I cannot tell you what that friend tell me. So it's government doesn't want people to know. And I have to protect it like in this way. It's very, very simple. I show you within 6 months with already traditional techniques, you can make, and of course can be 7 months or maybe 5 months. I tell you approximately 6 months. And all this based on what? You have the backbone. Backbone is what? Very specific. Zhoushan bat coronavirus ZC45 or ZXC21, because they are someone very close. They found them at the same time, 97% similarity. And then you have this one, because this one owned by Chinese military, not any other people can easily get it. The scientific world, they don't want people to understand this. They try to change, people can easily get it. The scientific world. And then you have this one, because this one owned by Chinese military, not any other people can easily get it. The scientific world, they don't want people to understand this. They try to change the
Chinese Communist regime is killing.
Sorry about that.
There are other type of coronavirus. For example, MERS. So we know MERS jumped from camel to human. And this is still a problem. Why among human it has sometimes transmission between human to human, but not this high contagious. Right? This is a problem people are studying for years. And there is always chance different type of zoonotic passage jump into human, but that take time. This one is purposely they have the very dedicated way. After that, equip the RBM, or you can call RBD, and also equip the furon cleavage site. And with the evidence here, also they even put one part called RDRP, which drag your attention from Zhoushan bat coronavirus, because this RDRP is like the index part. So if Shi Zhengli, these people, they usually trace back the family tree using RDRP gene. So they change this RDRP gene. Like it become very unique, not close to the backbone one. And then when you trace back, you may say, from this traditional way, we cannot say it comes from Zhoushan bat. But if you check the whole Zhoushan bat coronavirus, you check all the things, you will see this weird, unusual thing just happen exactly to the part they want it happen and exact the function. And with evidence lab, And with those people who are good at it, they are under Communist Party's control. I didn't report the man-made part to them because I know I will be killed immediately. I report the cover-up, I report the human-to-human transmission, I report there is no intermediate host, all these things before until 17 January, from late December to 17 January, I keep reporting this, but they have no response. So I know that is the urgent time. After my investigation among all the intelligence and also scientific evidence show me that is actually from the military. So I know this is the thing. I cannot trust WHO. I cannot trust those experts. I cannot definitely not trust Chinese Communist Party. In December, there was human-to-human transmission happened. In December, Wuhan already isolated the virus and the sequence from the patient sample, not as they claim that in the middle of January. From end of December, doctors in Wuhan, from Li Wenliang's that time, Dr. Li Wenliang, I think everyone knows him now, right? The doctor who first tell the friend that there is a SARS-like virus. Even before Li Wenliang gets known by the public, already local doctors are told that to keep silent. I get persecuted by the government. My family get persecuted by the government. They go to my home, they threaten my family, they have life-threatening things. Policemen search my home. The vice chancellor of the University of Hong Kong recruit alumni to collect my information. And my alumni, even in China, they tell all the friends who know me that I have no privacy. Government put me to the criminal case. So all these things is based on exact things happen to me within hours I leave Hong Kong. I know I faced to the life-threatening from the moment I decide to deliver the message out. But it takes because I didn't go to the public from January to April. So just Mr. Lu, I contact him. He helped me to keep it secret and he delivers a message out instead of me. So it takes time for the China government to target who's doing that, who's behind it. And I was in a fear in the beginning. Later, I feel that maybe it is better, but I still know I should be very careful. Until mid-April, Mr. Lu has intelligence told that I'm in danger and the government want to make me disappeared. And then after that, people from the Rule of Law Foundation, they helped me to escape from Hong Kong to US. If I want help in Hong Kong, in China, immediately I will be disappeared. No one have any way to understand something had happened like that. I engaged on TV like the Fox News, Mr. Rodolphe, they asked me, and also like on the radio in US, and also on the live broadcast. I prefer live broadcast because people can ask whatever things they want, and I can tell you the things. You can see my response. You can know it clearly discussed. But for those people, I mean, first, many media, they don't want to do this kind of objective interview with me. They already have their bias. You can see many people, if you check the main media paper, they are attacking me, attack Rule of Law Foundation. They already share the same propaganda like Chinese Communist Party did. Chinese Communist Party has done it from mid-May before I go to public to attack me, that I'm liar, I know nothing. So that is not fair. The ITG-13 is fabricated. And also my intelligence can tell you this virus never existed in Xi Jinping's lab. that's the right thing they should do, because still many other countries, they trust WHO. As I was before in this WHO map, I feel it's so good, fascinating, right? But then this WHO, what did they say? Tell people not wear masks. Tell people trust the Chinese Communist Party. Work with them to shut down hydroxychloroquine's trial to this is people's life, right? And all these things, and tell people definitely do not go to search animals. And they've been to China for several times, even didn't go to the right hospital, didn't check the right sample. So this organization now is totally corrupted, manipulated by Chinese Communist Party. This is not about politics things. It's not about me, myself. It's about everyone's life. Still, I said, the reason I start to talk about it is because I see the things happen. I see the fact. I know what it is. And I know if I don't tell it out, I will be regretful when I see the things finally happen. And if I don't tell the truth from January, I will lose my capacity to tell the truth in my life. I think if US cannot protect me, no other place is safe. I have to be honest, And usually I don't go out because I need